We are all of us damned, my queen.
As long as the sun still shines, we can destroy him. Let me dazzle you with my wisdom.
I think I know a way.
Welcome back to another episode of The Harbor. I'm your host, the Kino Cowboy. I'm back again with my co-hosts, Austin Casher, Scott Keith, like usual. We're at the end of the year now. I'm drinking Mountain Dew Game Fuel. It's back. It's probably not in stores anymore, but that's my life nectar from high school. Shout out. Not doing Coke Zero today. Instead, we're talking about 1985's legend director Ridley Scott. Speaking of Scott, Scott's on the zero. Was Casher at?
This is also a
Crushing a
Coke Zero.
2-liter.
Surprisingly, not a fucking Coke IC.
His game fuel tastes like cough syrup. What's up? We got baby Tom Cruise
Did you
directed
say
by
game
Ridley
fuel
Scott.
tastes like cough syrup?
Dude,
Can we
Game
go
Fuel
back
tastes
to that
like
real quick?
Now listen.
Can we get the
Which
consensus
sucks
of the
is
chat?
I am the target demographic of that drink, 100%.
Now
I
listen.
had one. I had my
Dude,
first
it's
one.
Halo and Mountain Dew.
Dog,
Which
I had my first one since high school about a week ago while setting up a Christmas tree. And let me tell you, it was pretty fucking good.
Now listen.
It was
Now
pretty
listen.
good.
For people at home who don't know my backstory, we'll get into the movie in just a second. This was like my number one drink in high school. I was obsessed with it, especially because it was a seasonal item, and I would always be looking for it and shit when it came around. And then it was gone for years and years and years, and now they finally brought it back.
And you had written Pepsi. You had written them.
In the
emailed them.
past 6 years, I had written Pepsi twice to bring it back,
Oh,
and
man.
I guess it worked. But
Right. How many times have you written a senator in your life, Adrian?
I've called a senator once, but
Okay.
that's
Why'd you
it.
call him?
You were
And I
like, hey, we need
called
to.
I called him over Roe versus Wade last year.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Did
But,
they get you some pussy? They get you laid.
No, but it's funny. It's like when I was a teenager, all I drank was sugary drinks without consequence at first, of course. Then I gained hundreds of pounds and then, I had to lose it.
Hundreds.
Well, in
He's a
2014,
600-pound man.
no,
600-pound
2014, I maxed out pretty hard. It was pretty bad. I was drinking like those 50-ounce come and go drinks of Mountain Dew like twice a day.
Hell
It was
yeah.
bad.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a lot.
America.
Now, as you mature, your taste buds can sometimes mature. And I will say that Mountain Dew Game Fuel is very nostalgic and I do find it delicious, but it does have that sugary, syrupy kind of taste that you might be alluding to. And
I think it'd be really good with some fucking wok, a couple Jolly Ranchers over some
I think
ice.
it would be better as if they would have done a zero version. Maybe I'm just used to zero and diet drinks now because all I drink is Coke Zero and Sprite Zero.
True. It's true.
It might cut down on that like extreme syrup and sugary taste, but
Hey,
alas.
speaking of sugary, syrupy taste, Legend by Ridley Scott, which is what the damn cast is about.
Is it?
This is the sponsored by Mountain Dew Legend cast. Ridley Scott. This is a movie I had never seen before somehow. It was
I've
just
been putting it off.
like I
This-
watched.
This is a Casher household classic.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see why my mom, I don't know if she even knows of this movie, but I bet she probably wouldn't have wanted me watching it simply because of Tim Curry's design in this film.
Which is, I'll say it, the best makeup ever done in a film for me.
That makeup
It's
fucking
fucking
rules. We'll get that
insane,
out of the way
dude.
right now. That looks
Yeah.
sick.
It is the
It's
best
so good.
of all time. It's so good.
The it's
And
just bizarre because like
even with your mom, he's the bad guy.
I know and there's some suggestions,
But he's like sexy as like I would be
Yeah.
surprised if like any of us walked away not thinking that was sexy.
Lucifer is seductive. That's the point. That's his character.
Yeah.
And you got to resist, man. When Jesus was in the desert and fasting, and Lucifer was like, hey, do you want to eat sushi off my hot, sexy abs? Jesus had to say no. And that's what this movie's about.
I will say this
Tom
is a
Cruise is
film.
Jesus, is what I'm saying.
First time I ever watched this movie, I was probably like 6 years old. It was probably
Oh, yeah.
2000. Like my dad showed me this and like Labyrinth and a few others like all around the same time.
Those are two very sexy movies then.
Well, it's like also it's my dad was like into these kinds of movies and then also like into like Logan's Run, like we've talked about in the past, like somewhat semi-obscure, darker fantasy and sci-fi that I was probably exposed to a little younger than I needed to. But this has been
okay.
one of my favorites since I
This
was
is
a
a
kid.
PG movie. I don't think it's that bad.
It's really
Listen,
not.
Labyrinth
It's
Star Wars is worse than either of these.
this is like terrifying. Like the set pieces in this are more terrifying
Yeah.
than the actual things. Besides the fucking swamp hag,
Yeah.
which still creeps me out. And honestly, Tom Cruise's character is kind of creepy throughout this.
Really? Why?
It's
Well,
Is it because of his middle tooth?
just
the main thing I took away from this is why didn't they give him leggings to wear through this movie?
it's the character of the character he's portraying is Jack of the Green, which is like a mythical creature. A lot of people like Peter Pan's a Jack of the Green. It's a green man. The last time it was used was in Men, which to really weird fucking
Yeah, I get that, but like
effect.
once he gets the gold tunic and shit, it's like he should have had some nice leggings to go underneath it because it looks kind
Dude,
of
why
like
do they make the fucking 22-year-old elf look like a baby throughout the whole movie? Fucking Honey Bunch or whatever his name is.
oh
Wait,
yeah.
That's like a 25-year-old man, and they make him look like a baby, look like he's wearing a diaper the entire movie.
who Pan? The
No,
Pan?
him. Gump,
That
Honey
guy's
Gump.
25. I
Oh.
literally thought that was a child.
He's one of the older, like he was born in 66, so he would have been 20 years old nearly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought he was like
Also,
a
the
12
fact that his name is Gump is so funny.
His voice role is voiced by the same person who did like Blix and a couple of the other people. Alice
yeah,
Playten.
he got and some people
but
don't like his voiceover. I think it works for the character.
It's very creepy. Like it's very eerie.
I actually
it's
like it a lot.
But yeah, no, it makes Gump's character, especially like she has this bite to her voice when Gump's like, yeah, fucking like kill her, like, or I'll kill her. And then like,
Yeah, I liked
there's
it.
like a bite to it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like
that's a
like a
grown man in a
playful-
diaper the whole movie, essentially.
a playful woodland spirit, but that has actually like a vicious animal side that'll kill
Well,
you.
it's like it's not even like vicious. It's like I'm gonna protect the woods. Like I'm gonna protect the
Right.
world.
Sure. Maybe not vicious.
Like it seems
But
very
the I think my problem is sometimes the lip syncing, I don't know, it just doesn't work. It doesn't feel, there's a disconnect, and you can argue that's intentional.
No, I wouldn't say it's intentional, but I will say I'm so used to it with like 70s and 80s movies like that it kind of doesn't really bother me.
Sure.
But
I
that's
mean,
too strong.
after a scene or two, I got used to it.
That's now I'm a huge fan of Ridley Scott's Alien and Blade Runner. Both of those are in like my top 25 movies of all time. Those are
Blade
huge.
Runner's like your number 2, right?
Blade Runner is like, yeah, my second favorite movie of all time, the final cut.
Yeah.
So it was kind of bizarre to me. I never saw this one. I had seen stuff like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal growing up. And to a different degree, other 80s fantasy like Princess Bride. I grew up on that and stuff.
Yeah, but there's like something about this dark fantasy shit that just like kind of really gets underneath it. Like this and Kroll and Labyrinth and like
yeah, I watched Kroll for the first time last
Kroll's
year.
awesome.
I really
Kroll
enjoyed
rules.
it. That was
Kroll
a fun
rules.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
did. I
I
was
need to see
digging
it.
on it. And I was like, you know what? Let's do. I want to do more dark fantasy because there's not enough dark fantasy these days.
There's not enough fantasy, period.
Am a huge dark fantasy proponent. It's like it had its peak with like Legend and stuff like this, then it stopped for a while, and then Berserk came back into like the Japanese market and has brought dark fantasy back to a place where people are like, yeah, let's make some low dark fantasy games, dark fantasy this and that.
The problem for me though is that I don't want them to do a bunch of shiny CGI creatures and set pieces for dark fantasy today. I want the just tactile, awesome kind of gritty, not gritty as in like traditionally gritty, but just like texturally, like it has
Yeah,
that look to it, that feeling.
a lived-in medieval sort of look,
Yeah,
rust on the armor sort of thing.
and because I would
Which
kill to have more dark fantasy like this, and I need to see that movie Excalibur. I never watched, even if it's not that great, just for the aesthetics. But
You kind of gotta just be like, well, we don't have a third Conan movie, but we got Cole the Conqueror, so I don't know. Should I watch this, even though it's not that good and has crazy Kevin Sorbo in it?
yeah, we also
But I
got
mean,
Bert the Conqueror.
yeah, there's Bert the Conqueror as well.
this,
Who would win between Bert Kreischer and Cole? Or who would just win in today between Bert Kreischer and Kevin Sorbo? I don't know. I'll say Kevin Sorbo because he is God on his side.
it's fascinating to me now, seeing this now, that he went from Blade Runner into this movie. And Alien and Blade Runner and this movie all have intense atmosphere, like dripping, oozing atmosphere. And it's like, man, where did that guy go? Come bring that Ridley Scott back. Give me something
Instead, we
this
got Napoleon and
intricate.
Gladiator 2 coming
Yeah,
out.
like,
Gladiator 2, I don't know why. And we saw Napoleon, Adrian and I, the other day, and it was okay. It
yeah,
was fine. It was a fun afternoon at the theater, but I have no desire to see it again.
Yeah,
like,
these a lot of like his older movies. The one of the things that you like sticks out is like it's got almost a fog to it. Makes
yeah.
everything
Yes.
feel like dreamy. This whole
It,
fucking movie, I mean, even with the ending where he's like able to, the director's cut ending where he's able to like, convince her, oh, it was a dream. Let's go our separate ways. This feels like a fucking fever dream.
It's
it's
a fairy
very
tale.
ethereal, very dreamlike. In the first 30 minutes, like I felt like I was stoned despite being dead sober.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is strange. And no,
Yeah.
this isn't as solid as Blade Runner or Alien, but I still appreciated a lot of aspects of it despite its problems.
Out of all
Right.
of the ones that could be expanded upon, this is the one when I was a kid, like, but still, I would love to know more about the world.
60-year-old Tom Cruise returns in Legend 2.
Like, I wouldn't want that, but I'd love to get, like, I don't know, a fucking TV series on the lore here because the lore seems deep.
Yeah.
The lore almost seems stock fairy tale European fantasy, which I'm actually fine with. I will say, for me personally, and I very rarely make this sort of feedback, but I wish we could have had one scene of seeing Lily at the castle,
Yes.
like with her family. Like, what is her life outside of this? Because we hear she's a princess. She visits these random villagers, and so I'm assuming her kingdom isn't very big. I don't know, but it would help to have that juxtaposition of what is the enchanted forest like versus like one scene of her and her father, the
And
king.
this is the version we watched, the director's cut, which is already 20 minutes longer.
Right,
And
and I
there's still
can't.
not enough there.
Yeah, exactly. And Casher,
Yeah,
is this your first time seeing the director's cut?
I didn't know that. I guess it's not. But
This
I
is the
didn't
version that's
realize.
been readily available since
Yeah.
2002.
Well, this is like, so I guess I would have seen the original theatrical cut once when my dad showed it to me back in the day. But when we bought that, we had the DVD of this. So like the next time I probably would have revisited this was in middle school, and it was this cut. But I didn't realize, I guess, that there was a difference in cuts just because I was so young when I saw the initial.
Yeah.
Right. Which in the original, they had 80s music in it, which was a choice. They really dumbed it down for American audiences, it seemed. They cut 4 minutes overall. They made the ending happier. I don't know.
Yeah. What's
I
with Ridley Scott getting screwed over with his cuts of his films?
you know what it is? I think a lot of directors do, and he just is stubborn enough to go back and make new cuts. I
Yeah.
think I've been reading interviews of him recently, and I've been sending you guys links
Yeah, he's
because
kind
he
of a cuck.
when oh dude when he when historians criticize Napoleon or bring up things, his answer is, "Oh, were you there? No? Then fuck off." Like verbatim. That's what he
Yeah.
said. He's like an 80-year-old man saying that.
He didn't give a
He's just
shit.
like,
Yeah.
"What? Were you at Waterloo? Then S my D, bro." Like, so the guy, he's a director. He's in I don't know, imperious. Is that a word I can use here? And I think he just has the ego to be like, no, this is the cut I want out
Well,
there.
half the
And thank
shit that he
God, because
makes
the
nowadays.
theatrical cut of Blade Runner kind of blows, with that, at least the voiceover does.
Voiceover in the ending, yeah. It's like,
Yeah, the voiceover in the ending blows, honestly.
yeah. Harrison Ford notoriously sounds asleep while he's
Yeah,
recording.
and he pretty much did that on purpose because he was like,
Yeah, because he didn't like it. Yeah. Yeah, it was not until 1992, the 10th anniversary of Blade Runner, that it got the director's cut on VHS, and that's when the movie really took off. So everyone was like, "Oh wait, this is like way better than whatever." So I do feel bad in that way because I didn't watch the original cut, but I did look up some of the differences, and having a bunch of uh crazy pop music and shit. I don't know. My cat's going crazy for some reason.
The music in this
strength
rules.
of this movie, more than the characters, or which are somewhat stock, or the plot, which is, it's fantasy fairy tale
I want to
inspired,
talk
but
about that.
it's not complex. But the atmosphere is the strength of this movie by far.
Insane.
And but by taking the viewers out of it with pop music, that's just objectively the wrong decision, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people who grew up watching it have nostalgia for it, for Tangerine Dream showing up, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the American version.
The like you were talking about, that was my biggest complaint, is like we need just enough world building to establish the overview of whatever kingdom they're in, even if just brief, her connection to the rest of society. How does this place work? What is this place? And that might not matter as much, because that's the thing. What I liked about this movie is that it does feel like this kind of smaller scale adventure. And I do like it has some unconventional storytelling in the way that it really focuses on certain sequences for a long time and lets you kind of bask in this dreamlike state, almost like you're with Jack and what's her name? Lily, staring at unicorns and shit. I like that kind of stuff. And I also like that it isn't, because going in, I thought it would be the stereotypical, like, here's a knight and here's a castle and he has to go do this quest and save this person and do it like this and all those usual, because I thought it was just going to be another 80s kind of stock thing, but it really is. It's more smaller scale, and the characters may be stock-ish, but they do have their own individual styles of not just the way they speak, but the way they interact with each other. That does make it good enough for me to enjoy every scene that Jack has with his companions.
Jack has an innocence to him, and that's an interesting part of his character. And because
that's like the whole like point of the movie is like he's a pure being, even though he's trying to get up in them fucking lily guts.
Yeah.
But one thing that, like, if we could have expanded on the lore, and that I would gladly take later on here now, would be something in the realm of Darkness speaks about his father a lot. Speaks about how he's trying to, like, who the fuck is Darkness' dad?
Is it Satan?
Well, is it Satan, or is it this like the true baddie of? I don't know. I'm fucking trying to get at this expanded universe since I was a kid, like wanting more of this movie. And also I'm just kind of like traditional Eurocentric mythology and creatures are kind of rule in my book. Like having the will-o-wisp.
Casher likes unicorns, everybody.
Unicorns.
Casher has unicorn posters in his room.
Unicorns fuck you up in like traditional mythology and stuff. And like, I don't know, seeing that they have like the will-o-wisp and the forest elves, and like they have Brown Tom, could you get away with that nowadays? Um, I don't know. I really liked all of this stuff.
Yeah, I like that the unicorns have like this holy connection to the world as like a form of purity, and for some reason, like cutting off that horn is what causes all of this shit to go awry, and that's cool. That I mean, you could just walk upon these unicorns at any time, so it's weird that they don't have like protection or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you get the sense that their glade is almost, I don't know, in its own little bubble, like
Yeah,
almost like a pocket dimension, but then I don't know how the goblins get there. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's a movie. And I do like that this movie, I did say I would like to see a scene or at least some dialogue. It doesn't have to be a whole scene talking about the kingdom. But I do like that this movie lets you imagine, like, whoa, what's his dad like? Is his dad just the void? Like he is the manifestation of darkness, but his dad is darkness itself.
yeah.
You
It's
get
always best to be left wondering more about the world than completely satisfied, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Leave the audience wanting more.
Yeah. So, and it really is probably better for the director's cut to have additional footage. It really lets you get involved.
Luxuriate.
Yeah, you get to sit around in the world for a little bit and experience, because some of the sequences go on for a while, but I like that because each sequence is different from the last. Like we go from the unicorns to the wintry overlay with the protecting the unicorn with Brown Tom and all that, and then you get the sequence with Jack getting his armor and talking to the fairy. They're all like distinct um different areas with different aesthetics too. And like when they get to the lair and they're in the prison and all this different stuff, they all have different looks to them. I don't know, that's a great way to do it, and the atmosphere is different in every single scene. I like it. I
Is
just
it blowing cotton fluff around the set with fans the whole movie? Or did everybody have allergies this whole movie? 'Cause I kept thinking that.
yeah,
Even like, also, I really wish Tom Cruise kept his American accent while Lily did not. Who's Mia Sara, who
yeah, I
plays
was
what's her
like,
name in
where do I
Ferris
know
Bueller?
her from? Fucking
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller. Wow.
Yeah, that came out around the same time.
And she's completely different. Like it threw me off.
She's completely different. I didn't 100% buy her accent at first, but I got into it. I do wish it would just be funny to see Tom Cruise with trying a British accent and seeing if he could pull it off. I don't know.
Yeah,
It makes me.
this is about as much Tom Cruise as I can take. This is about the last of the Tom Cruise films that I'll watch and not be disgusted by his being.
It is
Um,
weird. Like this is pre-Scientology Tom Cruise by like 1 year,
Yeah, it's
which is
literally like the
crazy.
last of his. It's like you've got a good run of watching him before he starts being a fuck. And then as soon as Top Gun hits,
No,
done.
no, because he does what's that movie in '89 that he does, or '87, with the prostitute.
That's been done in '83, and that's risky business.
What? Let me see.
I'm looking at it right now.
Are you talking about Legend?
That is '83. Holy shit! I
Yeah,
thought it was
same
late
here
'80s
as
for
The
some reason.
Outsiders, which is the shit.
I used to watch The Outsiders a lot as a kid.
Yeah, Outsiders is a fucking masterpiece. I
Oh,
fucking
well,
love that movie.
I don't know about that, but
I fucking love that movie.
It's the best Coppola movie. No,
okay.
it's a who's who of child stars, teen
Yeah,
stars.
I
That
need to
is
watch
like one of the best
director's cut of
teen
that too.
drama movies.
Yeah, no,
books
it's
ever
one of the
written.
best teen casts ever for sure.
That
It's
is
almost
pretty
as good as
crazy.
Young Guns too.
I was
The
wondering, was this shot on a set or did they just decorate the forest?
Dude, their fucking set pieces are insane in this. It's like the main forest just looks so beautiful, but then you get into like the disgusting dungeon where those fucking orcs are. That's still like I'm watching this and still get like kind of scared on because everything's just red and like there's that fog over everything.
yeah,
And like the one scene that always like still like permeates through my mind is whenever that fucking fairy reveals herself and she's like, I'll help you if you give me a kiss. And it's an up close shot of her face, and her eyes are all fucking weird. And her hair's all frizzled, and it's her first time really seeing her. And you're just like, I don't like
Yeah,
this.
see, I like when fantasy is like there's a awe and a beauty and wonder to it, but also there's like a weird uncertainty with shit like that.
Like
And
never ending stories like that too.
I
It's
need to
like,
watch that movie. But when she wants Jack to kiss her, I had to like go look that up and see how old she was because I thought she was like 10 years old. I'm like,
no, she's older than
she's like in her 20s, she's like the same age as Tom Cruise.
so I think
thought she
she's
was like
older than Tom Cruise.
I thought she was like a 10-year-old girl.
I thought he was 14 or something.
I was like, surely they're not gonna have this child kiss Tom Cruise. I like looked it up real quick and I was like, damn, she's older than
No,
him.
they use like most of this cast is like little people. Like genuinely.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it's
it
like
works.
well, that's good. I'm like,
Person
it's
though.
like David Bennett playing Gump. Like I said, it's an adult looking like he's in a diaper. the
Andy
entire time.
Milonakis looking motherfucker. No, but no, because they were wanting to like avoid using little people for stereotypical casting reasons. And one of the people on the film was like suggesting they use 70 millimeter film so they could like uh do like placement within the frame easier to make the, make it look more uh like an illusion. And then it was like, that's gonna be way more expensive. Fuck all that. We'll just cast little people in this movie. So I don't see the problem.
They need work.
A lot of little people talk about how they like getting those roles. They just want their roles to be fleshed out and not just be one note.
I mean, they
So,
made like every single little person in this is like equally as heroic as Jack
Yeah,
is in this.
they're never the butt of the joke. It's never like, oh,
No.
here's this short, goofy guy. Haha, look at him.
Well, no, it's like it seems like most of the world, most of the inhabitants that are like Jack is the odd one out when it comes to like these mythological like settlements. And that's because he's a green man, and green men aren't there's not like a village of green men. It's a green man like is dedicated to protect the forest.
yeah. No.
So,
Except for when that one guy fucking falls asleep when he's up top. I'm like, God damn it. How do you fall asleep?
I do love that.
Yeah, but a the real main issue is the Lily or whatever her name is. She's kind of a prick. Not on purpose, but it's like,
She's naive.
why would you throw your ring into the water for like, fuck you? That's an annoying shit.
She did that as a joke, and then
It wasn't a joke. He goes after it at the end.
yeah.
At the end of the day, Lily is a pussy tease and she's the fucking problem.
Yeah, because he even gets the ring and saves her, and then she's like, "Let's just be friends. Our lives are too different."
Yeah, this is
Fucking
the
bitches,
legend of the
dude.
friend zone. Speaking of legend, by the way, and this is going to be for me for the next, say, 24 months, and I hate myself for it. The whole time I was thinking about the Legend of Zelda movie and how to make it and how things in this movie could be applied to that, and it's going to be a rough couple years.
Well,
for
I'd
me.
much rather the Legend of Zelda movie be more ethereal like this than more Lord of the Rings epic,
Hopefully it will be from what the director said.
It's gonna be more haha jokes like Mario.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, if
Chris
Link,
Pratt will play Link.
if Link in the Zelda movie had like that same bad attitude 80s like shtick to him, I'd be all over it. Megan.
Wait, there's more glitter in this movie than there is in a bucket full of unicorn cum. Like everything in this movie is draped in glitter, and it must have been terrible for the set.
No, Scott, there's nothing that says that unicorn cum has glitter in it. So I don't know.
Oh, thanks for fact checking.
It looks like the pancakes you ate the other day, the Willy Wonka pancakes.
Oh yeah, the Willy Wonka pancakes. Yeah, those were okay. It was just purple cream cheese icing. It was
this fucking again, like my favorite thing in this whole movie is the makeup for Darkness and Darkness as a character in general. This is like one of my favorite roles for Tim Curry ever. And it's
actually bizarre.
Well, it's like you can still hear that sassy fucking British undertone through his like evil dark voice, and I love it. It's because you can still see his like, I don't know, there's just like this sassy spiciness
Well,
to
look
it.
at his outfit. It's this silky open shirt, sexy attire.
I was so surprised that he wanted to marry a woman in
It's
this. I'm
like
not gonna lie.
yeah, it's like akin to Frankenfurter or some shit. Like
Yeah,
it's that
well,
same kind of thing.
it's like what this the makeup for this was 5.5 hours long.
Yeah, I bet. If
And
anything, they
it's
could have made this movie gayer and sexier, I think.
yeah, just go full labyrinth.
Yeah,
Well,
is there a porn parody of this?
Dude, if there's a
Where
porn
there's a
parody of
dude just like
this,
sucking on his horns
well,
with like
I knew going in what Tim Curry's character looked like because it's very famous prosthetics. So
I didn't
I
know
know.
what he
Did you know he
sounded
full
like.
on sprints in the costume though?
yeah, no.
It's like
And
crazy
obviously,
shit ever.
inspiration from Tenacious D at the end of that movie comes from this for sure, to a lesser degree. But it definitely looks good. And the swamp hag I really liked.
Yeah,
I thought that looked great. I do feel like that scene and maybe a couple others were kind of just rushed and kind of put in there for padding. But I like I wish we could have spent a little more time in little areas like that and maybe a little less time in the final kind of dungeon layer. But that's fine. Like I do like that it's smaller scale, but little instances like that, it's like you have this massive set and like this hag and like all this shit, and it's like it goes over so fast. I don't know, and it's kind of
Yeah,
silly.
well, I don't know what else they would do with the hag. I guess that's kind of just character development for Jack because it's the first time he uses his sword. I almost feel like it's the first time he's ever gotten in a fight ever. Because at one point doesn't he say, I don't know how to use a sword? And then
Yeah,
hey, you can learn.
that's what I found strange. Is like, okay, now this woodland boy is suddenly supposed to fight like a knight and like save all this shit. Like
what
it's
about
kind of
Link?
strange, huh?
What about Link?
Link is the chosen hero and champion of the goddess Hylia and uses his
So maybe Jack is the chosen hero of whatever
No,
universe
this
this
guy's
is.
just chilling in a forest
Link
trying
is
to.
inspired by the Green Men
He's
too,
trying to get
man.
laid. That's the whole
he's a
thing.
hippie. Yes, it's
So
the
is
power of
Link.
food.
I
Fair.
don't think so. Link's just doing chores for his grandma and shit.
Yeah, so how did he learn how to become the hero of time
Because it's a fucking video
immediately?
game.
This is a fucking movie.
I know.
Movies are a higher art than video games, Casher.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider video games art.
Yes. Thanks, Roger Ebert.
Yeah, that was bait. I'm not taking it.
I'm
I don't
reading here
know.
though, dude. Those fucking bull horns that he was wearing, 3-foot fiberglass horns.
Yeah.
He had a
That's
harness to help balance it.
that's fucking, and he sprints in it. He's fucking
Is it
full.
him
I
or
don't know if it's him or
stunt
not,
double?
but it's the funniest scene in the whole movie.
It's bizarre too, because the whole time I'm seeing him in this costume, I'm thinking of his role in Home Alone 2, which is the most exact opposite role on Earth. And it's just crazy. And then because I've seen Tenacious D so many times, I'm expecting him to break out into song, and it doesn't happen.
There is a lack of heavy metal in this movie that could make this movie 10 times better.
Yeah. I feel like it could have been gayer and there could have been more like rock opera or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it definitely could be 10 times gayer, even though every role that besides Pennywise that Tim Curry takes has got a little spice to it. But yeah, no, watching him sprint in that is it still makes me laugh like a fucking child. Because it's just like so out of nowhere, and then it's like the shaky cam of him running at you, and it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. And also I think somebody saw it without the shaky cam and they said this is
Yeah,
too
I know it.
because I do think that there were two makeup jobs, one for medium shots and one for close-ups. In the medium shots, he had more of a static face. It was almost
Yeah,
a mask
that makes sense.
during the fights. So maybe it's 4.5 and not 5.5 hours. I don't envy Tim Curry for that, but I mean, he got his bag, I'm sure. So good for him. Also, in this role, you get to trick people into thinking you have an 8-pack because that's makeup too. That's not Tim Curry. I wish it was. I wish Tim Curry was that ripped
It
in this
might
role.
be.
Maybe he
So
worked out.
clearly, Lily is tempted by the forbidden fruit. She's not supposed to go in and touch the unicorns, but she can't help herself. So she's kind of a bad influence, I think. And then she throws her ring in that water for marriage. I'm like, well, if I was Jack, I'd be like, you're an annoying bitch. See ya.
This is the only woman I think he's ever talked to. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
He's like a high schooler who a girl talks to him and asks him to borrow a pencil in homeroom, and that's the first attention he's got, and he's smitten because of it. Even though she sort of not exploits him, but just wants to play with him. She's a bit of a tease. Again, friend zone. It's the legend of friend zoning. She's kind of like Eve too, because everything is her fault, because everything
Yeah.
is women's fault in the Bible.
I feel like there's got
Don't
to
talk
be
about my rib like that.
Now she obviously Legend probably maybe took some influence from the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe book with shit turning frozen over. And then I think the movie Frozen maybe took influence from this. I don't know. But I do like that concept of everything freezing over in fantasy. And I always like that. And I like how wispy and powdery the snow is in 80s movies, especially in this movie. I don't know. It works. But I wish the Narnia movies would have been closer like this than the PG Lord of the Rings ripoffs they are in the Disney movies. Because
We have our chance at some good ones soon with
we'll
the
see if Greta
reboot.
Gerwig can pull it off. But like, if you read Prince
Greta Gerwig's
Caspian,
making Narnia movies?
yes, she's been hired to do so.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like if you read Prince Caspian or Magician's Nephew or Don Treader, they're more in line with these smaller scale, more intimate connections, more dreamlike sequences like this than the big scale. We want to be like Helm's Deep bullshit.
Right.
And
I only saw the first one.
yeah, those movies piss me off because they're so like studio lame, Disney-fied, just generic box office fied, like blockbuster shit. And I don't know why people have such an attachment to them. Read the books for fuck's sake. And
Books are a lower form.
that's like my favorite.
Cinema is the problem.
What?
Books are a lower form of art than cinema is the problem.
Yeah.
Just like how video games are a lower form of art to everything else.
Yeah, that's the callback, Casher.
Let's see. It goes movies, video games,
Mime,
books,
Carrot Top.
TV
ventriloquism,
sitcoms.
video games.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's like I appreciate this movie and what it accomplished. Is it perfect? No, but I take it over Napoleon any day.
It's part of that era. Like 80s is filled with like fantasy and dark fantasy. Like there's so fucking many. I'm just looking at a list of what people consider fantasy, and like of course there's some shit on here that's not fantasy. Like Harry, they're calling Harry and the Hendersons fantasy.
Man, that
well,
movie's stupid.
10 out of 10 movie,
and
but,
also Bigfoot's real, so it's not fantasy.
That's just like it's interesting because like Prometheus, that's not a perfect movie, but
I like
I
Prometheus.
like Prometheus a
it's
lot.
better than the last Duelist and all this other bullshit.
That's what I'm
he's put out
saying. It's
lately.
like
God damn it.
it showed that he still at least had some of the sauce when it comes
The only
to
thing,
sci-fi or
that
fantasy.
he fucked up with that whole movie is that he didn't let us see the fucking chest burster come out of the goddamn original Alien thing. It's like let's have a whole movie about how a chest burster pops out of this fucking engineer, and then we don't get to see the giant fucking alien get his chest burster pop out of him. Fuck that.
Yes, I almost view Prometheus. I almost ignore the alien connections in it, honestly.
That's fine.
It almost seems like he had this other story about sort of ancient astronauts. It's a science fiction trope. It's the Forerunners in Halo. It's the aliens in Egypt sort of thing.
Yeah.
And to get it made, he had to tie it into Alien. It almost feels that way.
It's
I don't
just
know. I
fun.
feel like I don't know.
Maybe not.
I think maybe
I-
he had that idea and was like, "Well, I kind of want to make a prequel to Alien, but this kind of fits that, so I'm going to merge them together." But because
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
he
even.
did really want to make a prequel to Alien. The problem is that he couldn't decide what to do with Alien Covenant, and we all know
Yeah,
how that
I
turned out.
never saw Covenant.
I like parts of Covenant. It's just a huge, like, waste of what word am I looking for? Just potential, just like half of it feels like a half-baked Prometheus sequel, and then half of it feels like a half-baked Alien sequel. But
Right.
Well,
I saw it for, I think it was like $2 at a theater. So I enjoyed it for that, but I understand why people were. It had a couple scenes I thought were really cool, but overall I don't remember it a lot.
if we could have had them separated, and if we could have gotten that Shaw character back, because it's like, well, why make a Prometheus sequel if you don't know what happened to Shaw?
I don't understand because they leave it on a cliffhanger. Did Numi Rapace or whatever her name is would just not want to return?
It's
I
funny.
don't
It's
know.
like those elements, though, of the world building are so strong in Alien Covenant that I prefer that kind of alien story to like Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, even if it's not as good as Aliens. I like James Cameron, but like I prefer the horror aspect and the mystery aspect more than
Yeah,
the action aspect.
I agree. I haven't seen Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection.
Man,
Because
I gave Alien 3 the benefit of the doubt. I watched the work print extended cut. Everyone told me it was better, and it still sucked. So I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, well,
I love Alien
David
3.
Fincher isn't very
If you
good.
like
Or
Alien 3,
Joss
that's
Whedon,
fine.
whoever directed it.
I love Alien 3.
Alien 3
The-
is stupid because it kills off the characters
No.
from the who survived the second one.
I know. That's why I like it.
This
One of the
movie
reasons
makes
why I
me
like
want to
it.
see the Kingdom of Heaven director's cut because I've heard that's a lot better.
Yeah, this movie makes me
And
want to watch.
I
and the
can
Crusades
just
are
tell
cool.
you, like, don't waste your time with the stupid ass fucking Last Duelist movie he has, where the fuck
Really,
it's called.
because I've been meaning to see that because I
Fucking
meant to see that in
sucks.
theaters, but I missed it. It
It was
sucks.
so fucking boring.
Really?
Yeah, it's played up to be like this great, and it's like half the shit that it's uninteresting.
He's got some
Like,
stinkers.
I
Dude.
thought the last duel was in Hamilton.
He's got some stinkers, dude. House of Gucci the other like a year or two ago.
Exodus, Gods and Kings,
Yeah, Exodus, Gods and Kings. What
that
else?
Robin
Holy
Hood movie
Moses.
that with Russell Crowe.
Mid-ass
Yeah.
Robin Hood, yeah.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
He also made American Gangster, which is arguably one of the greatest crime movies ever made.
I think that's why Ridley Scott's an interesting director for that reason because he is
He's so weird. He's so inconsistent.
and his genres. I mean, he's done sci-fi, he's done fantasy, he's done historical. He's done.
I would love for him to do another fantasy movie. God damn it! Now that
Yeah.
I think about it, like he has not have another fantasy.
Anything that
film
has
out
the atmosphere of Alien or Blade Runner or Legend, dude, come on. And Prometheus has some decent atmosphere, especially when they're on that alien ship and shit exploring. It looks good.
We'll see. The guy's 86. He's not even in
there.
his
Yeah, well,
early 80s.
I kind of just hope he just stops doing movies. I don't know.
No, I just I don't like that I like when he says some old man bullshit, but like him trying to say like he deserves shit more than Scorsese and that Scorsese is not as talented as him or so. I was like, dude,
When
shut
did
the
he
fuck,
say
dude.
that?
Scorsese is like way more talented consistently, is what I mean. Like,
Yeah. No, I think most people would agree.
just
When
don't
did
say
he
shit like
fucking
that.
say that?
Say what
You
you
could-
want about like blockbusters and shit, but like
He just went off and said that for no
he was
reason.
just it was in a flurry of different things in these press junkets.
I feel like this guy still does cocaine.
And he's saying like he's like, come on, man, where's my Oscar? You know, I deserve it. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
There's some
I'm
of these
not
older
gonna say
folks.
there have been movies he's made that have deserved Oscars, but it's not Napoleon.
Yeah, it's not Napoleon. It's not fucking House of Gucci. It's not The Last Duel. All the Money in the World. Alien Covenant. Potentially The Martian.
House of
Exodus.
Gucci has some baffling choices, like Jared
Yeah.
Leto.
House of Gucci. I've seen some scenes of
It's
that
not
that
good.
are funny.
Like for the past decade, he's just put out mid. Besides like The Martian.
Yeah.
And The
I
Martian's
don't know
Oscar bait.
I don't know what's more disturbing for Jared Leto, his cult or his performance in House of Gucci.
I think it's like the 23 allegations of sexual abuse he has on like minors.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's the
he's a
thing.
fucking piece of shit. Fuck Jared Leto.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll not do a podcast with any movie he's in.
What? You tell
Well,
me
there goes our Suicide Squad,
there
Pat.
goes our
Damn it.
Tron 3 Ares cast next year.
You guys could do it without me, dude. I'm not even gonna go see that movie.
I will.
I won't pay to see it.
That is bizarre that they're doing a Tron sequel that has nothing to do with Tron Legacy and stars Jared Leto.
That is odd.
Gross.
That sounds like a fumble.
Tron 1 wasn't even a success. It was a cult classic years later.
No.
I guess Tron Legacy made enough money.
Tron Legacy had
Disney is scraping the barrel at this point.
they had a cult following. Well, the problem is that they were trying to do a Tron Legacy sequel years after Tron Legacy. And
all right, here's the way I'll go see this new Tron movie is if Daft Punk comes back to do the music.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
If Daft Punk comes back to the music,
It's already gonna be a lesser film because it won't have Daft Punk.
If Daft Punk comes and does the music again and then announces a tour and I get tickets to the tour, I'll go see the movie.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I literally have a credit card saved. It's called my Daft Punk credit card. It's a credit card that I have in my fucking office that has $700 and that's 4 tickets to Daft Punk that they go back on tour.
Okay.
I've never used it.
Okay. Well, here's hoping. I mean, I'm rooting for Daft Punk to come back and do one last tour. I'm not going to say that, I think legitimately Jared Leto kept pushing for this Tron 3 for some reason. And I think now because Disney World opened that Tron ride and it's such a big investment that they're like, fuck it, we're going to do a tie-in. It's probably going to suck. But it is bizarre that they're making a third Tron movie.
Dude, who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll scrap it right before it fucking happens. I don't know.
It starts filming in January.
Maybe they stop. Maybe they're like, fuck it, we don't need it.
You think it'll be like Tron 3 Metaverse?
Especially because they're like, they just said they're like, hey, we are focusing on quality, not quantity. Maybe they're like, let's fucking just scrap half this shit. And only make
Ridley Scott needs to focus on.
Let's scrap everything, and instead of Jared Leto running a fucking new Tron movie, he's the star of the Country Bears too, which is what I know the nation needs.
Don't fucking bait me into fucking getting mad over Country Bears.
I love the Country Bears. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely, unironically,
I will say,
like
for the viewers at home, I heavily enjoy the Country Bears attraction.
I love the Country Bears movie. I'll be the one to say it.
Terrible.
I'm pro Country Bears.
I just like Country Bears, the animals.
I like Country Bears, the Southern gay men.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So one scene in Legend I particularly like. No, but for real, I do like that each sequence feels like its own thing, almost like it could be its own short story at points. Like just little tales from this world, except once they go to try and take down darkness or whatever, it's pretty heavily connected. But I like when Lily, she's stuck in his lair and she's tempted once again by this black dress, and then she dances with this black dress. I really like that sequence. That's
that set piece is in all of Darkness's castle is insane. But where she's dancing around and you've got Una the fairy, is that her name, Una?
Yeah.
Like running around and following her and watching her through those giant pillars.
Yeah.
And everything just kind of feels dusty but also beautiful at the same time. It's like that's like peak Ridley Scott type of
large, high ceiling, dreamscape looking, high concept looking set design.
What's the business name that in Blade Runner?
Tyrell.
What's Weyland Yutani? Who's that?
Weyland is from Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Okay,
but they have a slight connection to each other.
That's what I thought too. But like, it looks like where you'd have like the fucking CEO of the Blade Runner Corporation be.
It's very similar, almost like a dark liminal kind of hellscape kind of thing. It's interesting.
It's fucking cool. I like it a lot.
Now I like that she's you don't know what this dark entity is. Oh, it's the dress, and she becomes one with the dress, and then her whole makeup and outfit changes. And I kind of wish that there's some back and forth between her and Darkness. I do like, and it's of course it's the stereotypical like he wants her and all this, but I wish there would have been a little bit more there for her to do when it comes to like fighting back, even if it's just psychologically. Like she does a bit, but I think they could have developed her relationship between him and her a little bit more. And I don't know.
Notice that when she was in the dark dress, that she had a bit of a unibrow. That they,
Is she?
yeah,
She
they
did
made
have a
her grow.
unibrow. Fucking Tom Cruise has a unibrow throughout this whole movie. They
Really?
really didn't make Tom Cruise look at this handsome man. He got fucked up teeth, little unibrow. They had to find shorter people to
Hey
work
man,
with.
people have normal teeth.
Well,
Dude.
no,
It's okay.
fuck Tom. I'm just saying, fuck Tom Cruise. This is my fuck Tom Cruise speech.
Yeah.
But like they had to find shorter people to work with him. Mickey Rooney was too tall to work beside him.
And finding shorter people than Tom Cruise, that was about 6 months of production time.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Got him.
Got him.
I'm sick of every movie star having perfect fucking teeth. It's distracting. Let people have normal teeth in movies. It's okay.
I have normal teeth.
Also, well, you're only in my movies. But what were we just talking about? We were talking about Tom Cruise and teeth. Dude,
Unibrows.
fuck you. What's your problem with, like, yeah, he's a fuck for Scientology, dude. That new Mission Impossible movie last summer kicked fucking ass. That was underseen because of Barbenheimer. People need to go fucking watch that movie. No,
movie.
it was not mid at all. It was actually a very fresh blockbuster, and I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Mid.
It was a good movie.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I heard you didn't like the boy in the hair, and Scott, I don't trust your opinion.
I didn't say that. I said
I had to sit on it and think on it.
Because honestly, there's a few lines of dialogue I didn't hear correctly that I think impacted my enjoyment.
Oh,
and
really?
I also think I really had to pee, and I think I left at a bad scene.
Was there a point where did you think one of them said something racist? Was that what?
Yes, that's exactly what Scott was talking about.
No, you said, I'm just kidding. No, that's fine. I'm just giving you shit. You know what it is?
Yeah, so yeah. What's your favorite scene from Legend 1985?
None of them. I didn't like this movie.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that you were like fuck yeah, I watched this as shit as a kid. I didn't realize that at all.
My dad likes some weird shit, man. This is one of those ones we owned on like the DVD where you had the cardboard case instead of the regular plastic case.
Yeah, classic.
Cardboard case DVD. Logan's Run was like that too. THX.
We're more of a Princess Bride family.
We had Princess Bride and all that other stuff too, dude. But
no, I just can see how this is unconventional and weird enough to where it didn't catch on as much as other fantasy films from the time.
Also had like Kroll in The Last Unicorn. And
your dad's a little more based than most families, I guess.
Well, it's like my dad just likes fucking weird fantasy films.
Yeah.
Because we even had like Xanadu and like fucking Beastmaster was another one. Fucking Dark Crystal. Fuck. I forgot about Beastmaster. That's the first thing that popped up when I typed in Dark Fantasy. I was like, Beastmaster's a fucking one of my favorites.
Yeah. What about Willow?
Willow, I like. I need to watch the TV series. For the TV series is better than the movie.
It got taken off of Disney Plus.
Did they take that fully off?
Yeah.
I'll download it.
That's why.
I don't know.
Does it even have a physical release?
No, that's a fucking problem.
What's fucked is they said they just took off Watchmen on HBO, and then people were so pissed on like Twitter and TikTok and everything. Got checked later today. They put it back on and said it was a mistake.
They said it was an accident.
Yeah.
Like they said that again for Looney Tunes Back in Action too.
Yeah.
So like, shut the fuck up. We know what's going on.
It's just fucked up. They took like a flagship show for a lot of people for
Warwick
HBO.
Davis put a lot of time and effort into that Willow sequel series, and
it's supposed to rule. It's supposed to be
and
really
now you can't watch
good.
it anywhere unless you torrent it. So
I'll steal it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
is it stealing at this point?
No, it's like ROM hacks. either put it out physically to buy or go fuck yourself. That's basically it. That's infuriating. Now, I'm not a big Willow guy. My mom likes it more than me, but
Willow's not my favorite. I
they
was
shouldn't do that.
more,
And it's crazy that
more,
we got a Dark Crystal sequel, whatever. I don't know.
and
if
that's
it's
really
or-
fucking good too.
I was never that big into Dark Crystal as much as I
Dark,
like Jim Henson and shit like that.
Dark Crystal rules. I will forever love that.
I prefer
fucking film.
The Great Muppet Caper and some of
I'm a
that
Muppet Treasure Island guy myself. That might be my favorite Tim Curry movie.
stuff. Home Alone 2 is actually my favorite performance of his.
I
Nigel
really like him
Nigel
in Command and
Thornberry.
Conquer Red Alert 3.
I forgot
Is
he's
he
in
in
that.
that?
Oh, I gotta
I
send you a
forgot.
clip
Yeah,
of
no, I
this.
forgot he was in that. I like him as Nigel Thornberry a whole lot.
What
but
game
Fred-
is it? That FMV where he's like space.
That's Command and Conquer Red Alert
Oh,
3.
okay, then
Where
yeah.
he's barely holding in his laughs because the dialogue is so absurd and stupid
Yeah.
on purpose.
Okay, then I've seen that clip.
Yeah, dude, you can anything that like inspired the painting of the side of a van.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like it's
Well,
that
listen,
come to life.
it's like my dad showed me those movies growing up. Anything that like someone painted on the side of a fucking minivan.
That's why I like
Those-
Kroll so much.
That's Kroll, fucking Highlander, fucking Conan the Barbarian.
I need to watch Highlander. I need to watch Never Ending Story and
Time Bandits was a big
Excalibur.
one we watched. Fucking Excalibur.
I need to watch a lot of these. I need to watch Kroll, Beastmaster, I
Death
guess
Stalker.
Excalibur.
Holy shit! I haven't.
Those
seen
are
a
like
couple-
those are like movies you just throw on Saturday night or not Saturday, just Saturday afternoon, like marathon, just have shit on, you know.
These were ones
I'm
that
a
like.
huge Conan the Barbarian might be in my top 10. Not of best movies, but of favorite movies.
I'd love to
You like-
rewatch Conan because I haven't seen it in 10 years. I only saw it once under the influence.
my place.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Conan's up there. Red Sonja was a big one I was watched as a kid. Masters of the Universe with Dolph
Yeah,
Lundgren.
some of these age better than others.
No,
Red
for sure.
Sonja.
Red Sonja's fucking classic, dude. Don't even get
Yeah,
into it.
well,
Classic.
we're
Red
throwing the
Sonja's
C word around a
badass.
little loosely there.
Red Sonja is a classic. There's a reason why she was on by Bridget, whatever Nielsen was on the Surreal Life. It's because fucking Red Sonja is a classic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was on the Surreal Life. That's how she met Flavor Flav.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's why I liked, as a kid, that's why I liked Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, because it had all these practical
Also,
fantasy
that
elements,
movie
despite
fucking
it being
rules.
Hellboy, you know, it had all those great set pieces and stuff like that. We need more shit like that.
That movie fucking rules.
I know if that and the first one would have came out just like 5 years later, it would have been bigger. Because like it came out, Hellboy 2 came out right before Iron Man and shit. So like,
Dude, they really fucked that new one with like David Harbour. They
I
had
saw that
like
movie.
they were supposed to fucking do all this stuff that's like canon to the comic books and like really cool. Like we're gonna get our fucking Werepanther character and like the fucking satanic fucking crown and all that shit.
Yeah.
And they just fucked it all up.
That was one of those movies that felt like it was written by a group of ninth grade boys over a weekend. And they're like, yeah, this'll be fine.
And usually that kind of shit rules.
No, it was really edgy and stupid, overly violent for no reason. David Harbour was okay, but Ron Perlman clears his performance.
Yeah, dude, Ron Perlman is Hellboy. He is.
Yeah.
I don't. If they tried to redo Hellboy again, like I doubt they will after the fucking fall of that movie.
Yeah, give me a
He
little.
likes the character because I read an interview where he said, "People ask me if I want to play Hellboy again, and do I want to go through all that makeup? Hell no, I'm 70, but I'll do it for the fans."
I heard the video game that
respect.
Dude, the video game that snuck out the past like 6 months from Hellboy is supposed to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, maybe if you're a fan of the series, it looks all right. Also, video games are not art, so.
Oh yeah,
you're right. I'm not talking about art anymore. I'm just talking about Hellboy.
Yeah, if
Pac-Man is the greatest literary character of all time.
they could do like a good animated series of Hellboy, like detailed, like Castlevania or something.
If they did that, they would have to do like I'd have I'm not gonna get autistic about this. But there's like they could do it, but they'd have to include like other series, like have Hellboy be the main series, and then also include the fucking like Abe Sapien stuff, who's like the
Oh, okay.
and then because there's like separate comic books with these characters.
Yeah.
And then like the fucking whole agency has like a fucking comic book arc too, because that like there's a point where Hellboy's just like gone in hell for like years.
Oh, okay.
Like we don't visit him back. He's just like gone because he fucking sacrificed himself. And then you get like spin-offs, but I'd be so down for that. Oh man. I love Hellboy. Hellboy's one of my favorites.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Well, I think that about wraps up our Hellboy and Tron 3 cast, everybody. Thanks for listening. We love Blade Runner here.
Spawn. We love Spawn. We love the Michael J. White and Spawn.
We love Alien, and I'm glad Legend exists, but I wish that this original cut could have obviously came out when it came out and not wait so long.
And I wish they had doubled down on the sexy.
Yeah, it should have been gayer, should have been sexier, and maybe a little bit of rock opera.
Little heavy metal in there will be good.
Bring back cool, tactile, dark fantasy movies. That's
and bubble blowers. There's bubble blowers in this movie. Bring
That's
those
true.
back.
Bring back the bubble blowers. Thanks for
that
listening.
That would have made Mission Impossible clear the box office. But
see, I'll watch it. If Mission Impossible hires a bubble blower, I'll watch the next one.
Do you think they hire a person for a bubble blower? You think it's not a machine? You think it's a union rule? They have to hire a human.
You hire one.
You have to some guy just out of breath on the side, just.
Can I take 5, please?
No, take 42. Imagine if it's like with a crazy, like Stanley Kubrick or somebody. There's 50 fucking takes.
Lips are cracked. He's like, I'm almost out of soap.
So yeah, if you want to follow us, Scott does comedy. You can follow him on Instagram.
At Scott K Comedy. I need a new job. I'm about to quit at this job and apply to like a part-time fucking bullshit job and just not have health insurance. I'm at that point right now.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like I'm about to get fired anyway because I'm turning in stories late and they're not even really finished. And my editor's like, I don't even know what to do with this right now. I'm like, I don't know. You could roll it up and stab me with it. Because that would be better. Than this.
I am now single too. I'm looking for a girlfriend. I can leave my socials and my phone number in the. Yeah, we'll put my.
I'm also single, but I have commitment issues.
You have comedy. I don't have comedy.
Yeah, dude.
You're married to the game.
We're gonna make a special Discord. I am married to the game. We're gonna make a special Discord for single Harbor fans. If you want to, we have plenty of episodes. Go check them out if you like this one, or if you like any of the others, share it with somebody that might like it. Don't make them watch the whole thing. Link them to a part of the video and see if they like it themselves. We have a
Asteroid City.
Yeah, I have a new video essay, first of its kind. We'll be doing more episodes like that. It's actually doing decently well, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, thank you for supporting us in our Planet of the Apes cast on our homepage.
Planet of the Apes cast is doing well. And
doing well.
We also have, for the deep fans, we have a tie-in film called The Patrician's Guide to Kino. If you want a tie-in film to our Harbor show, and I wrote a book called The Kids We Used to Be, available on Amazon. Check any of that stuff out. Next week will probably be our end of year wrap up video. So look forward to that.
I'm just looking for friends. I don't have anything else. So yeah, they do cool stuff.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.